I want to become a barrister, doing a 5.5 to 6 year course is probably not a good idea. Why you shouldn't be doing an apprenticeship? Absolutely, it's not for you. No. Will not have the luxury of time of having the uni lifestyle. Hi everyone, welcome to Apprenticeish, where we talk all about apprentices, apprenticeships, kind of. So today we're going to be talking about why you shouldn't be doing an apprenticeship. Absolutely, it's not for you. No. Okay, so obviously if you fall into some of these categories, that doesn't mean you should not be doing an apprenticeship. It's just something to consider when deciding to choose whether or not you should be doing an apprenticeship, whether or not it is actually for you, because guys, it's not for everybody. It's really not. So these are just things to consider, think about, ponder on.
You can do a degree apprenticeship or an apprenticeship if you want to. If you don't, then don't. Simple as.
Let's get right into the video. I don't know where I was going with that. Number one, you have no idea, none, about what you want to do in your career. I need to break that down because I actually do think that doing a shorter apprenticeship is great for people who don't actually know what they want to do, for the simple fact that they're far shorter. You only have to spend 12 months in a role in order to finish the apprenticeship. In that year, you will have exposure to a particular area. You will also gain qualifications relevant to that area, which is great because if you want to progress, you can. If you don't, it's literally just 1 year. I think if you're going to do a longer apprenticeship, so if you don't know anything about law, you don't really want to do it. In fact, you don't even know what law, like studying law is about. You don't care about it. There's no real interest, but you don't know what else to do. So you're thinking of considering it. Doing a 5.5 to 6 year course is probably not a good idea, just for the simple fact that it's a long period of time in which the first few months you could hate it or you could love it. And it could change your life forever. But it's just something to think about. Like, if you're going to do a longer apprenticeship, it's a good idea to know why you want to do it. And also, I think that kind of stuff does come across in the interview as well. Like, if you have no idea what you really want to do, you're not as, like, driven, or you don't really have a desire to do it. Sometimes that does come across in the interview. So I would suggest, if you're going to do a longer apprenticeship, think about hard why you want to actually do that, because it can't, like, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years plus might not be a good idea to spend in an industry that you actually might really hate. Whereas doing a shorter apprenticeship is a great idea, in my opinion, for people who are not sure what they want to do, for the simple fact that you can try it out, and if you don't like it after a year, you don't have to deal with it ever again. It's up to you. Number two,
Friends.
there's a lot more to do with, like, how fast you want to move and who you want to move with. Some people, and I only put this in here because I know that there are some people who literally do want to live their life with their friends. You know, they want to go to the same uni, they want to study, not even study the same course, but just be around people that they know or just people who they've known before. And that they would love to stick with them throughout, like, the next phase in their life, which is uni. It's quite a life-changing time, I would say. If you're trying to move at the same pace as your peers, an apprenticeship is probably not for you, because Number one, a lot of people aren't doing apprenticeships anyway. I know it's increasing and people are getting more interested, but traditional stays traditional, okay, guys? People will be going to be doing A-levels, and that if you're in the UK, if you're abroad, I don't know what it will be, depending on where you're watching from, will obviously be different. You'll get your GCSEs, your A-levels, go to university, If you're doing an apprenticeship, it will not look like that, point blank period, because you'll be working at the same time. The amount of time you have will be different. The amount of free time you have will be different. What you'll be doing with that time will be completely different. Okay, in my experience anyway, they're not going to give you less work because you're an apprentice. They're going to give you work suitable for your level. Whereas obviously if you're doing an apprenticeship and your peers are not, your experience with university will be different. Do you understand? If you're trying to move at the same pace as your peers, this is not for you. Even if you're going to do even if you're not going to do a degree apprenticeship, I was doing an apprenticeship. It was a level 3 apprenticeship, which I've spoken about on the channel before. And my friends were not doing that. They were going to university, and I started university when they were just graduating, which was like weird for me. But number 3, don't do a degree apprenticeship if it's not in line with your career goals. There's not a degree apprenticeship / an apprenticeship, point blank period, for everything. Like, if you know, I want to become a barrister, you can do a solicitor apprenticeship if you want to, but in the same breath, you could also just do the degree and then go to bar school. Say, for example, if you want to become a doctor and it didn't fit in anything that the NHS currently promotes or private practice currently promotes, then go to uni. There's nothing wrong with going to university. So number 4, if you want to have the uni lifestyle, you have a job when you do an apprenticeship, period, meaning that you will not have the luxury of time of having the uni lifestyle. Also meaning that if you want that, this degree apprenticeship is not really for you, or it won't meet that expectation. The workplace has socials, but workplace socials and uni socials
are not necessarily identical.
The free time that you have as a uni student will be different if you're an apprentice. The point I'm trying to make is, if you're looking for the uni lifestyle, degree apprenticeship is not it. And number 5, this really is like a character thing, but you shouldn't do an apprenticeship if you're not willing to put the work in. Whichever way you're doing it, if you go to uni, if you don't go to uni, if you do an apprenticeship, if you go down the traditional route, you will need to put work in, but the work is different. So when you're doing the traditional route, whatever the traditional route looks like for your particular degree, it's very much like, okay, cool, like I'm here, I'm doing the schoolwork. Whereas when you're doing an apprenticeship, you have to use your there's so many more and different skills that you have to do when you work in a place with other people in a team, or even just by yourself, compared to just focusing on studies. So because you'll have a lot more to balance, in the sense that you have work and studies, whereas if you're going down whatever traditional route that is, you're more likely to just be focusing on studying, so that you need to put in extra work in order to manage the two as opposed to just the one. Some people might not even be ready to go to the workplace. Like, this is a reality that you need to decide for yourself whether that works for you or whether that doesn't work for you. Maybe you don't actually want to go to a workplace, but you still want to work in the career. This might not be the time for you to start in the professional workspace. So these are just some things to consider. And whilst I hype up doing an apprenticeship so much, if it's not for you, it's not for you. So it's just something to think about. I'm so happy that you guys watched this video. I put so much effort into filming them and editing them. So if you could leave a comment, it would mean so much to me. Let me know how you found the video, what kind of other content you would like to see. And for those who have subscribed, thank you so much. Have a phenomenal day, and you're awesome. You are.